It actually has been top news since Friday. But on the Standard, we have what Raila told NASA chiefs over deal with Uhuru. And I'm going to be engaging with Nerima and Bernard just to find out if there's anything really the summit told us about their meeting. Let's look at the headline on the Daily Nation, where we have Raila put to task by NASA chiefs on the deal. Again, of course, the meeting and that particular gathering being described as tense, and initially with the three principals tasking Raila to tell them why, first of all, he went secretly, and secondly, more importantly, the content of their handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta. On the Star, we also have NASA standoff as Raila refuses to yield ground. So there you go. Let's start with you, Nerima, on your thoughts. So first of all, the statement given by the summit, if that gave us really an idea of what the deal between Uhuru and Raila is all about.
Well, basically, from the information received, it sounded like Raila didn't quite have a choice and he did it the best for the coalition. But you could see the fact that they refused to receive questions. You could tell that they didn't want people poking into the discussion, meaning that there's not quite a solid front as of yet, and that perhaps members are not quite on the same page as well, but they do have to demonstrate unity within the coalition. Because there's been a lot of information that it's falling apart, that it's breaking, and we've seen members of that coalition showing that they're upset with their party leaders and them being betrayed in that sort of manner. So I believe that, as Raila mentions, that the envoys or the foreign envoys have lost support in him. Yet when we talk about democracy and electoral justice, it's those foreign entities that we run to.
Right.
So it's almost as though he says, we have no choice. This is the best for the coalition right now when we look at it. But it was also quite fast that we saw that the People's Assembly has also been halted.
Right.
I think that that halt came a little bit abruptly.
A bit abrupt. And
Yes.
Bernard, one of the things that, according to the statement that was received, Raila mentioned is that it was the best for the coalition, for them to remain relevant and for them to basically push their agenda. Do you think that is something that you envisage is going to happen, given that their agenda initially was purely because Jubilee was not able to deliver that or was not giving that direction?
I think as the opposition coalition, it was very prudent for them to come out strongly and, serve as the people's watchman on the excesses of the government. But what we are seeing is a situation where now the opposition is actually is willing to support the agenda of the government. And my worry is what will be left for the common mwananchi if we have no strong opposition that is able to check on what the government is doing, is able to highlight or bring out issues of corruption, issues of mismanagement, issues of, all those things of ethnicity that this country is crumbling with. So I think it's very important that the opposition, in my own view, would have retreated back to their parties, strengthened their parties, because the electoral cycle has already started. Nerima will tell you that the electoral cycle starts immediately after the election. So it has already started. And what we are seeing is a preparation for 2022 elections. So these parties would have retreated back to their houses, cleaned their houses, strengthened their parties, organize grassroots elections in preparation for the 2022 elections. But having said that, the statement that we saw yesterday was the information that came out was very scanty. We can't actually put our fingers on it and say, okay, this is what they agreed and this is what is going to happen. Because we have been told that the Honorable Raila Odinga was trying very hard to explain to them and tell them that the deal was based for the country and for the coalition. But the other principals feel betrayed because they are like, why did you have to go, or you have been negotiating this for almost 1 month without telling us, then you come to tell us that it's the best without our input. And you might recognize that maybe the issue of honesty and trust within the coalition is not clear or is not really strong when you see ODM allied MPs all of them were dispatched over the weekend, and they were all over in Nyanza trying to defend the position taken by the Honorable Raila Odinga. Whereas members or MPs from the other parties remained silent. But there was so much noise, and especially in Luo Nyanza area where the
in fact, if anything, the politicians from the other parties were quite vocal, saying that, for example, one who was saying that Raila has betrayed them and betrayed their leader. Yes. Nerima, one of the